Coming up next on Get Caught in a Net.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your host, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Great afternoon. Welcome, guys, to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I am your girl, your host, Annette Harris. I am the CEO of Get Caught in a Net Incorporated, your certified mental health ambassador, and two-time award-winning author of that bestseller, Surviving a Silenced Heartbeat. Listen, guys, I always tell you when it's around 12 noon Central Standard Time on a Wednesday, it's time for you to get ready and get caught in a net. I'm here. I'm excited because this is our third and final round of featuring Distinguished Author Guild nominees in our Authors Unite to Get Caught in a Net segment. So before I get started, Lord, we thank you for all things. We thank you for blessing us and helping us, encouraging us, giving us wisdom and strength and to do your will. We ask that you would get the glory out of this segment and everything we go to say and do. In Jesus' name we pray. And the first part of Hosea 4:6 states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, we're excited to be here. I'm going to pull in my guests on this afternoon. Before I do that, I do want to encourage each of you to come on in, join us if you're able to join us live here. And maybe you can join us for a portion of the segment or the entire segment. But if you're not, you'll also be able to catch us on various platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We are under Get Caught in the Net, so you shouldn't miss us. And you can catch it in its entirety and watch the whole segment at the end on today. So let me bring in these beautiful queens I have on today. And you see them, they're in the midst of us. They are here. All right, it's time. It's time. How are you all doing on this afternoon?
Amazing. Great.
Good, good, good. All right. See, like everybody's good. Everybody's doing good. I am going to, you see in our midst, first of all, I have Fire Marshall. Fire Marshall is here. I love her smile. Beautiful. How are you? You doing good today?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. It is so good to see you and so good to be here.
All right. Well, wonderful. Let's see. She is the author of A Pornetry. Did I say that right?
Yes, Pornetry.
A new dimension of erotic poetry. All right, y'all. When I talked to her earlier, I said, this title, she said, you got to have a little spice. So come on now, y'all. We're gonna jump in here and talk about this. But we also have in our midst author Shantae Conyers. How are you doing?
I'm good, and I'm glad to be here as well.
Good. I'm so glad to have you. So glad to have you. She looks like she has a baby face to me. My goodness. You probably get that all the time, don't you?
I do.
All right. And Dr. Sheena is my friend. She is back with us. How are you doing? You looking good?
Thank you.
All right, all right. And you've been doing some stuff, my goodness, especially since the last time we've had you on. She is always working, always hustling. Let me back up. Shantae's book title is "Please Don't Say You Love Me," and being pretty is hard. Hard work, excuse me.
Mhm.
You know, when I first saw that, I thought it said being petty is hard work. But I said, okay, but I'm connecting all of that. Please don't say you love me and being pretty is hard work. Okay, yeah, that is very true, right? Uh, and Dr. Sheena's book, Turning My Paint into Purpose, is that correct? That's the one?
Correct.
See, I had to ask her because she gets so many books. She has so many books. And I had to make sure we were featuring the right one that was actually nominated through Distinguished Authors Guild. So I wanted to make sure of that. But yeah, let's jump right in. I have given your the title of your book, your name. So who wants to start us off by introducing yourself, a little bit of personal background to the audience, if you would not mind?
I can go first.
All right.
Of course, everybody knows my name is Shantae Conyers. I am a mother of 2 boys and a grandmother of, will be soon 2. He will be born November 1st, but I also have a 5-year-old grandson. I have 2 books, of course.
Okay.
Being pretty is hard work, and please don't say you love me. I work during the day. I work for a prosecutor, and at night I work for Chrysler. And then I also went to school. I have my bachelor's, and I'm also in school to get my master's. And I am working on a 3rd book that hopefully can be published sometime after the 1st of the year.
Okay, all right. You sound now. Some of y'all are career authors. That's what I'm seeing. Ain't nothing wrong with that, you know. But that's good stuff. Thank you for sharing that. And you are a busy woman as well, I see.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I am Sheena Gadon, better known as the lady behind the mask. I am the author of about 9 books now.
Wow.
I am a speaker.
Oh, yeah.
I am a speaker. I'm an advocate for domestic violence. I have my own podcast. I'm a mother of 2. And of course, you know, my acronym, DOPE, dedicated to other people empowerment.
Okay, all right. Love it. Love it. And you know what? I want to say this. I appreciate you all, the 3 of you, and I'm going to let Fire Marshal go next, but you are inspirational to others. And whether it's someone who is thinking about writing a book or other moms, you know, showing them that you can juggle, you can balance, you know, various things. So we appreciate that. I just wanted to say that. Fire Marshal, come on. Talk to us about you.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to say I feel so honored to be among such beautiful women and such powerful women. Fire Marshal, the writer of Poetry, a new dimension of erotic poetry. I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm born and raised in Gary, Indiana, and I was away for quite a while in the military and came back. I have written another book that actually won in 2022 with the Distinguished Authors Guild, called Released. And it was a book, an inspirational journal that was geared towards women who had been dealing with any type of abuse. And so during the pandemic, I think we all got a little bit bored. We had to be in the house. We could hardly go out. My recreation was going to the grocery store. And I started writing erotic poetry, to my own surprise. I would write things, and then I would sit here and chuckle to myself. And then one day I shared it with a girlfriend. And when she read it, she said, "You cannot just let these things sit. You've got to publish it." So we talked through it. I was a bit hesitant about it for obvious reasons. I am in the ministry. I
Okay.
am ordained. And when we talked about it, we talked about the fact that it is entertainment, and there are people who appreciate this genre, and it is just another ability that I have to write. And so I decided to go with my pen name, Fire Marshall, which was coined by another lady who read some of my poetry. Who said that I like to start fires. So you will see on the pages of Pornetry that there are some fires to be had.
Mm. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Look, you got me all caught up right in there. That's good stuff. But obviously, like you said, you started writing, and then to your surprise, this came about.
Yes.
It's amazing what we have so much in us, and even that saying, which is true, everybody has a book within them, right? Whether or not your writings are going to turn into a book or not, it was within you, that passion. So yeah, you're making us curious today. My goodness. Okay. So of course, each of these book titles are very distinct. What was your process for selecting those titles, Dr. Sheena?
Well, turning my pain into purpose. It was actually brewed after I was diagnosed with having a DVT, and just walking around knowing that I could have died.
Mm.
In my spirit set in, why not take it and turn it into a purpose and be a visionary to give people a platform to share their story of what they maybe went through, to testify to others of, how they can turn it into a purpose. And in this book, it's about 40 different individuals that share their testimony of their journey of taking something and turning it into a purpose.
Okay. So sounds like you didn't say, why me, God? You took that to use it to help yourself and everybody else.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And yeah, and that's not always easy to do, the situations we go through, I know that, everybody goes through differently, and they don't go through the same thing, so that's beautiful though, because it helps us to open up our eyes and realize, whatever it is we're dealing with, it doesn't have to end there. Doesn't mean that it's over, right?
Right.
So beautiful. Okay. Shantae, how did you come about with your titles?
Okay, so Being Pretty is Hard Work. That title came about because of my life experiences. Sometime in life, like she said, she turned her pain into purpose, but a lot of us do not do that. Sometimes our pain makes our heart ugly. And when your heart is ugly, it also shows on the outside.
Yep.
So Being Pretty is Hard Work is basically telling a story of a young lady named Rebecca who, lacked family support, had a lot of issues within her life that turned her heart ugly. Yes, she was a pretty woman on the outside, but on the inside, she was bitter and cold and mean. And it's to show women that you can clean up your outside. That means we can put, add hair to make us be pretty and makeup. But if you don't deal with what's on the inside, it actually comes out. Just by either your looks or the way you speak to people or how you treat people, it comes out. And so Being Pretty is hard work. I just want people to know that it is when you're working on the inside and not the outside, because it's easy to dress up the outside and still be ugly on the inside. And so one of the slogans that I put with that was, being pretty is not worth the work if you're ugly on the inside.
Okay.
And so that's how Being Pretty is hard work. Just some of my life issues. Rebecca, it is based off a true story, and Rebecca is me. And I just talk about some of the issues that I went through that turned my heart bitter, and how I got close to God and started soul searching to heal from the pain that was brought on, and how I overcame it and how God helped me overcome it. And so people don't even realize that being pretty, it comes with sometimes more pain than it does pleasure. it attaches you to things that you don't want to be attached to, and you also attract things that you don't want to be attracted to. And so I just touched base on that in Being Pretty is Hard Work. Please Don't Say You Love Me came from a divorce that I went through. It was also during COVID. And so I decided to write, because those are, please don't say you love me. Telling somebody I love you, those are words that are used very loosely in this world. And there's just different levels to love. You can love somebody, but not be in love with them. I kind of touch base on what the Bible says about love. And so I just talk about how somebody can tell you they love you and still treat you horrible. I too am a survivor of domestic violence. So I kind of understand how that plays a role in I love you. And a lot of people don't understand what I love you actually means. And a lot of times those 3 words cause a lot of scars instead of making somebody happy by it. So that's how I came up with my books.
Okay. All right. Good. Great. I love it. I love the responses. Fire Marshal.
Yeah.
So you already started saying that you were writing, the erotic poetry or whatever. But with this title, I mean, was it easy? Or, because it would seem, okay, I'm writing about erotic poetry. It would just seem like I would just entitle it, have that in there. But was it easy to come to that decision, or?
You know what? It wasn't easy. It was something that just happened as I talked with my book coach about the contents of the book, which we know is erotic poetry, and wanting it to be a name that would stand out, for one. When I thought about the contents, the fact that it's erotic poetry, and my poems are written in the form of stories. So that's how we came about with the name Pornetry, because of course we know that porn is something that a lot of people look at. Maybe there are porn magazines and so forth. Well, this is not really that, but it's just a play on the word to show that there are poems that are written in the form of stories. So Pornetry.
Okay, that's very creative. I like that. She'll make you think. I'm gonna throw this in here as well, because you mentioned about you're part of the church. I'm not sure, I can't remember what position or whatever you hold, but was that a conflict for you, or how bad of a conflict was it, if it was?
Yes, it was a conflict, and it was a big reason why I originally was not going to even publish. I happened to meet Zane. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she was very popular throughout the United States and the world for her erotic novels. I had the pleasure of meeting her last year and joining her writing group. She poured a lot into me, and she and I have sort of similar backgrounds in that her dad was a theologian and her mother was an educator, and she did not want them to know what she was writing. She hid that from them for years under her pen name, but then found out that people were using her pen name and making money. So she had to expose that and kind of show who she was. And there was a big expose or article in, I think, the New York Times back then. And she knew that her parents would know at that point. So she finally told them what she was doing. But she is not what some people may perceive. People have all sorts of perceptions about someone who would write an erotic novel, thinking, they have a picture in their mind about what this person must look like and how they must carry themselves and so forth and so on. But if you ever met her and saw her, you would think, she wrote that?
Wow.
She is a very conservative woman. She is an introvert, but she is very knowledgeable, and she does a lot more than erotic novels. And so it's been an honor to get to know her and know her story. And I decided that, hey, this is something that I'm able to do. I believe that the words inside are entertaining, it's funny, it's relatable, and I think that it can also be beneficial to some. I even have a
Okay.
little part in there called stiletto tips and soft whips to give people, married couples, some things that they can do to help spice up the relationship using pornetry. So I think the book has some benefits as well as just entertainment and pleasure to it.
Ooh, okay. All right. Are you guys' interest peaked yet? Listen, I love it. I love it. Sometimes I don't know, depending upon if we're in the church, maybe have positions in the church or something like that. Something like this is not necessarily going to be. We just dive into, right? We still have those. Should I? Should I not? But okay, but you did it. When was this book published?
This was published in June of 24.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had a little bit over a year under your belt with this book.
Yeah.
Okay. So what audience, Dr. Sheena, were you trying to or intending to reach with your book? Whether it's a certain age group or gender. Can you share that with us?
With Turn My Pain into Purpose, with
Yes.
that book, it was more of anybody that is dealing with some type of trauma, grief, because the stories are grief, miscarriage, divorce, domestic violence, even mothers that are dealing with kids with disability. So it's kind of broad and variety of different type of pain, because a lot of times we sit and don't talk about a lot of things. And that's kind of related back to somebody named The Lady Behind the Mask. And, a lot of times we sit behind these masses. So my goal is to focus on people that might be sitting uncomfortably behind some things and, let them understand that there are other people dealing with the same thing that you might be dealing with. And, it's okay to get uncomfortable and, learn different things and figure out how to work on who we are to become the better version of ourselves and take our thing and walk into our purpose and know that you're dope.
Okay. All right. So yours is open, basically. That's good. So can you answer that question for me, Shantae? I don't want to assume.
But can you repeat the question if you don't mind?
Whether or not which audience were you intending on initially for your book to reach?
I was wanting to reach the women that consider themselves broken. It's just like she said, a lot of us don't realize we look at somebody else's life and don't know their story and don't realize that they too have experienced a lot of pain. So I was trying to reach some of the women that were broken, but also men as well. Because I've had men read my book as well, because men sometimes don't understand the pressures that they put on women that can cause women to also be hurtful. There's hurtful things that they do. So my focus is both men and women. I wanted to, as far as age range, teenagers on up.
Okay.
I did not realize when I wrote the book, I felt like my book was for my healing when I wrote it. But once it got published and it was selling, the amount of women that came to me and said, I thought I was alone in this. I did not realize that I was able to relate to so much in the book. So it was for both men and women, but more women bought it than men because of the title. And so that's why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Because you really don't know what's inside till you read it. And the men that did read it would always come and say, I did not realize that's the amount of pressure we put on a woman. Yes.
Wow. I love it. I love it. And that's why I asked you, because I didn't want to assume that it was just for women. I wanted to see, who you were really trying to reach, because again, the men have a responsibility in it as well.
Yes.
But
and a lot of times as women, we are always trying to fix our outside up for a man, not even realize and they don't even realize that we're broken and hurt in the inside. So.
That is such a deep concept. It really is. It really is. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Fire Marshal,
Yes.
who were you intending on targeting once you finally decide, okay, I'm going to take my little writings that I have and put it into a book? Who were you thinking about in terms of audience for this book to reach?
First of all, though, anyone who is interested in that genre, obviously, but also married couples. From having conversations with people, lots of married people, married women, there seems to be some things missing, and there seems to be just such a dryness to relationships that it's like maybe they need some ideas, maybe they need some things that will pique their interest and get them to explore one another even more. I hear all of these stories about hang-ups, a lot of inhibitions, and all of these different things in marriages. These are the people who have carte blanche. We all know what the Bible says about what we should not do and what's forbidden. But
Mhm.
these people who have an open door in the sexual arena are
Yeah.
not using it and looking at various things and saying, oh well, no, that's this and that's that. And so I thought this could be a nice tool for them to use. And one of the suggestions I gave was for them to read to one another some of these things for an hour and see where it takes them.
Mm.
Um, I think that it could be extremely beneficial in that way. And so that was one of the main audiences I wanted to.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Now, let me ask you, each of you, what is your passion? Is your passion what you have written about, or is it something else? Dr. Sheena.
Well, mine definitely is what I write about. It's about inspiration and empowerment because back in 2019, this journey started because I had to unmask myself after going through trauma of domestic violence. Plus, I don't look like my story of dealing with 6 different health conditions. So to be able to inspire, empower, and motivate one soul at a time, I love it. To let people know that their words have power, to let people know that they matter, to let people know that, loving yourself is not selfish. Yes, it's my passion. It's my mission.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Before I get to the other two asking the same question, I want to interject and let you guys know if you're just not joining us, you are tuned in to the third and final segment of the Distinguished Author Guild nominees interviews. And we've placed them in our Authors Unite to Get Caught in the Net segment. We are talking to them. We started at the beginning of this month. September 3rd, rather, was the first segment. We did another segment last week, 12 noon and 6 p.m. And today is our final one. We will have another, or the last one on this evening at 6 o'clock. So this afternoon, of course, we're featuring authors, Shantae Conyers, author Dr. Sheena, and author Fire Marshal on this afternoon and talking to them about their books, how the books came about. I like to kind of get a little background, and understanding, where was your mind at when you wrote the books? And so this is what we're talking with them about on today. And of course, celebrating the fact that they are nominees for the Distinguished Author Guild 2025. So let's see. Author Fire Marshal, can you talk about your passion?
Well, I am an all-around creative. I am an abstract artist. I'm a songwriter, an award-winning songwriter at that.
Ooh.
I have written other things. I write all types of poetry, inspirational poetry, poetry about life, just whatever inspires me. But I have to say that out of all of the things that I do, Writing is my passion. I find that I'm able to affect lives through my writing. For example, I wrote a poem. I heard a story from this lady, her daughter, she had found out her daughter was pregnant. She was only 15 years old. The family didn't know she was pregnant. They found out when she was 5 months. And the girl was going to give the baby up for adoption. She didn't want them to know. And so the mother was extremely upset about that. And I was just inspired and wrote a poem called What Would Have Happened? And it talks about what would have happened if I would have given you away. You could have ended up, with some family that didn't really love you, and you could have been abused, and all of these different things could have happened in your life if I had given you away. So you need to think twice about giving your child away. Well, what I didn't know is that the next day, this lady was going to bring this child to work with her. And she made her read that poem. Well, the girl changed her mind. She kept the baby, and they allowed her family to help support her. And so that was when I really discovered the power in the words that we share in our books. And so whatever I write, I have a passion for it. I have a purpose for it. And I just believe that it is meant for others. I thank God for the gift. And I'm glad that I am able to do things that inspire, that encourage, and even entertain other people.
Beautiful. I get goosebumps when you mention that. That's beautiful. There is power in our words, spoken or written. Love it. I love it. All right, Author Shantae, come on. What about your passion?
My passion is to help people overcome. I just want to help women in general. God told me my purpose a long time ago was to serve, even though it is writing, but also to serve. I just want to help women overcome. A lot of times we forget who we are because we gain titles like wife and mother and sister and friend, and that we forget that we were an individual with goals and aspirations and things that we wanted to do before we gained the title. And so I just want to help women, help them find themselves. It's okay to be a mom and find your purpose. It's okay to be a wife and establish your own goals and go after things. I want to be an inspiration to show people that these things can be done while accomplishing your goals and walking in your purpose. You can still hold all those titles. I just want to show people that you can overcome no matter what happens in your life, that is just a chapter. That's not your whole story, and that we have control to rewrite our story despite what we went through before. You can always start over. There's never an age limit for anything. The world makes you think that you can't get married at 60. The world thinks you can't have kids at this certain age. But in life, you can do whatever you want to do. It's as long as you still wake up. That means God is still giving you a purpose to do what you are called to do. It's okay to take a step back from it. I mean, I took a step back from writing for a minute, and now I'm back in it. It's okay to do that because sometimes you have to take a step back to regroup and to sometimes find yourself again. And I just want to inspire and encourage people to just, no matter what happens, because you always have roadblocks and obstacles, but you just have to keep going.
Beautiful, beautiful. You guys are really sharing some great insight on today, and I appreciate it. And I'm sure those who will come back and watch will be inspired as well. So let's talk about this Distinguished Author Guild nomination process. And tell me what the nomination means to you. Anybody can start.
Well, it means a lot to me. I am excited. Like I said, I wrote my first book in 2017, and then my second one, it got released in 2021 after COVID. It means a lot to me. This is not my first awards. I actually received awards from APA Books out of Chicago as well, to Neil Jackson. So, and I was not able to receive my second book. Please don't say you, no, my second book, Please Don't Say You Love Me. I actually was not able to go receive that award. So she had to send it to me because I had COVID. But this means a lot, especially with me taking a break and putting my pen down for a while. The podcasts that I have been on have really inspired me. The women that have been nominated, and the ambassadors have really encouraged me, because I, like I said, took a minute and set my pen down to figure out, is this what I'm really supposed to be doing? But when your books are awarded,
Yeah.
and they're nominated, that lets me know that, yes, I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So it means a lot to me.
Beautiful. Oh, I had no idea that you were connected with Tennille Jackson. Okay.
Yes.
All
Both of
right.
my books won an award through her program,
Great.
APA. Yes.
And what year was that?
2018 for
Okay.
Being Pretty is Hard Work, and 2021 for Please Don't Say You Love Me.
Okay. I attended like a couple of her, two of her
Okay.
award shows.
Yes.
And I was just trying to connect it
Yeah, I
all
didn't get
together.
to go to the last, like I said, I didn't get to go to the one right after COVID because I had COVID, but she sent my
Oh,
award to me. And then, but I was that was my first time that my book won with her.
beautiful, beautiful. All right, that's monumental. That's a blessing. Okay, Fire Marshal.
Yes. You know, the Distinguished Authors Guild is absolutely a godsend. Gina and I were talking the other day, and we couldn't remember how we even met. But when I entered my book and then won, I was just so surprised. I believe in myself. I believe that I have a gift. But I don't know. It's like when you win an award for something you've done, it's so surreal. It's like, really me, I won. And so it is absolutely fabulous. It is encouraging, it's empowering. And those are all of the things I feel that the Distinguished Authors Guild is doing for authors, and really making us want to continue to write.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Dr. Sheena.
Well, you know, I've been doing Distinguished Author Guild for a few years now, so this is like family. So it's always great to come back home. I won in 2024. No, it was 2023 for Masking in My Brokenness anthology project. But it's always great to be involved, meet new authors, network, just being able to know that, you know, your words are hitting on some inspiration for other people that you never knew you might needed to inspire. You know, it gives you another platform, more people to network and collab with, and just inspire and continue to motivate each other to continue to grow.
Beautiful. Yeah. Because it really is a community, a family. That particular foundation, and like many of you have said already, that it makes you feel comfortable. You feel, you want to push for it, maybe want to write another book or what have you. But to get that encouragement from others that look like you, I believe it's very important, critical. And it's a blessing. So I just wanted to, hear how you felt about being in that particular community and what the nomination meant to you. So thank you for that. When you introduced yourselves, you mentioned about families and children. Talk to me about your supporters. How instrumental they are in your lives, and or your naysayers.
Well, I will start on that one. Let me tell you something. It is amazing how, and I will say this as a believer, and just having conversation with other believers and so forth. Sometimes the church is the most judgmental, critical, that you can get. I'm telling you, it's amazing how people will sneak and go get your book and read it, but then talk about the fact that you wrote it. And I don't know, when I really thought about it, I started thinking, you know what? I am not going to allow my gifts to be stifled by
Amen.
judgment, by
Mhm.
condemnation, by any of those things. I know that I'm gifted. I know that I am a beautiful person. I love people. I have really ministered to a lot of people. And if this is just another way or entryway for me to meet some more people, you never know what could happen. But those relationships, family members, there is one family member who has read some of my work and yet makes those little remarks, those little
Mm.
backhanded remarks. You know, um,
Mhm.
she wrote this book, but did you know she was a prophetess? Not saying that in a measure of admiration,
Mhm.
but
Right.
as judgment.
Yeah.
And I just got to the place where I have to silence those voices, and I silence them by continuing to operate in the gifts that God placed inside of me. So it can be very difficult because if had I listened to those voices and thought about all of those things that happened, I would have never published this book.
Mm.
And we cannot allow people to stop us from doing what God has called us to do, no matter what it is. Someone is always going to have something negative to say,
Right.
but you're the one that's doing it. You're the one who's prospering, and you're the one who's reaching people because of the gift that God has given you.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay, so your supporters?
Lots of supporters, mainly in my community, my friends, a lot of my coworkers. I live in a community that's very diverse and artistic. I'm a part of the art district out here. And so we've done programs where we have poets and storytellers. And so they got a chance to hear some of my work. I was a little nervous about it because of the demographics. There were mostly older Caucasian people in the audience. I didn't know how they were going to receive what I was saying. But I went ahead, one of the board members said, look, just do it. So I did. And I was amazed. These people loved it. They
Yeah.
loved it. They encouraged me constantly. They were the first ones to purchase the book. It was awesome. And I get that type of support all the time, from mostly friends and from the community. And most of my sisters, I have four sisters rather. So it's, you know, I get a lot of good support. And of course, the Distinguished Authors Guild.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm glad you did it too, because guess what? Just like you said, you started writing on your own before you went and got it published. That was something within you. So you never know what other people are, what's within them and that they will connect to. So I'm glad you did that as well. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, because people will surprise you. They will
Oh,
surprise you. Yeah.
oh, I have a lady to buy the books, a
Oh,
member of the same church. I
okay.
want the book. I want the book. Bought 5 books on the spot
Wow.
and then stopped speaking to me.
Well, that could be for a variety of reasons, right? Well, and I won't speculate, but
But no,
I don't know.
I won't either. I just said, oh, well, she bought it. So
I know that's right. You got the money now. I shouldn't have said that. Lord forgive me. Okay, let's see. Buddy Gill is here. He says good afternoon to everyone. Thanks for coming in, buddy. We appreciate you. And then another author, I believe I have her on this evening, Farron McLemore, says hello, Queens. Back at you, Farron. Thanks so much for joining us. Buddy Gill has a comment here. He says, wow, fire marshal hit a few heads upside their heads, talking about the support or lack of it from within your warm market, your family and friends, the secret, envy, or jealousy. See, I was going to say that. I was going to say that last sentence. See, it was either secret, envy, or jealousy. But yeah, that's okay. You're right. She did hit a few heads upside the head with that.
you know,
Thanks for your comment.
I will interject that sometimes it's a person's own fear. sometimes people have fears and they try to project those off on you.
Yeah.
And so I'm just glad that I'm not a person who is easily fearful.
That's good. That's good. Very good. And that's good to pass on to others. Okay, who wants to go next? Talking about your supporters and or your naysayers.
Well, I always tell people that if I waited for support, I would probably not be where I am in life. I would not be anywhere if I waited for support.
Wow.
Because most of my support, honestly, has came from strangers, people I don't know. Most of my support. And like Fire Marshal said, the people that did buy my book, it was more or less just want to be nosy and see what was wrote, what was said in there. I was even told, why would you share your story? This is embarrassing.
Because it's yours.
Yes. I mean, yeah. And so support, at one time I used to say, I don't know what support is because I don't have it. But God sent people in to support me, distinguished authors, just people from, I've co-authored before. So I was able to, I've co-authored 2 books. So I was able to, connect with other women that are just as powerful. I think for me, support is an issue though. I think it sometimes what's the word I want to use? Sometimes it leaves me stagnant.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it leaves me stagnant, but then here comes, my children are 27 and 21. And so normally they are very encouraging. Yes, they are very, very encouraging. They have helped me through some of my stagnant, like seasons in my life. That is an issue. I'm with Fire Marshal. Fear does come upon me, but God always says, this always sticks with me, that God doesn't give you a spirit of fear, but of love, peace, and a sound mind. So a wise woman told me years ago that if you fear it, you should probably be moving in it because that's probably your destiny. So that always, normally when fear comes over me, I normally try to move in it because clearly that's something I'm supposed to be doing, which is something God gave me. But support, Lord, I'm telling you, if I waited for support, Lord knows, I would be nowhere in life. I wouldn't have went to college. I wouldn't have wrote 2 books. Yeah, because the naysayers are always louder than your support. And people have to understand that. Always. People are always going to have something negative to say. And just like Fire Marshal said, most of the time they're just projecting their fears onto you because they want to share their story. I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, I want to write a book. What did you do? How did you start? And I always tell them the first thing to do is to pick up the pen and start writing. Yep. And so one lady said, I want to write my own story. I said, okay, we'll start writing. But as she started writing, she did not realize that in order to heal from the pain, you have to relive it. And so a lot of people don't realize it's like God, when I wrote my book, it was like God was opening up sores and pouring salt on them because I had to go through them. You cannot heal unless you go through it. And so she started writing and she stopped. Because she said, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I understood it, but people don't understand. Yes, writing is a gift, but there's also other things that comes with it.
So. That's good stuff right there. Ooh, you said a whole word. My goodness. I see you, Dr. Shannon. You agree with
I am.
Because I'm telling you, you hit it on the head. My goodness, you hit it on the head because you're thinking that you're writing and you're writing for others and for other, because you want them to buy it. So you're writing this book for them, but you have to realize it's first to you.
And that's what I told people when I wrote my book was for my healing. I asked God when I wrote my book, if I inspire one person, then I've done what you asked me to do. But I was doing this for me, not even knowing that I was going to help thousands.
So. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, Dr. Sheena, come on. Naysayers.
Naysayers, I call it the glow up after the grow up.
Okay.
Because the thing about it is what I went through, it was my growth. And I glue, and for the haters that see it, I glow on them. So it's my glow up after the grow up. They ignite me to be better. What you do is speak in my name, you make others want to go buy it. So you're helping me promote me. So thank you. So I say thank you to the haters. And to my supporters, like I said, you would think it would be family. It's not. My tribe came from everywhere else in the world. And I just, if it's one or if it's 200, I perform, I speak, and I, ignite and encourage as if it's billions. So I just everything as a motivation. I remember going to an event and heard the speaker E.T. He said, I can, I will. And that's always been my theme. I can, I will, and I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to dim my light regardless if you like me or if you don't. Because if I fear speaking my story, then I'm then neglecting the person that needs to hear it. If I fear not walking in my purpose, I then neglect the person that needs it. And if I fear of not speaking out, then somebody I've neglected to not help.
Wow. Woo. Okay, I was trying to grab each of those. I love it though. No, I mean, but it is so true. Because if we just keep it within, I mean, you're not gonna help others.
My. When I first told my story of DV, the person that actually did it, they kept saying, "Oh, you changed. Stop telling the story." No, I'm not going to stop talking. You don't want me to talk because it's about you. I don't mention your name, but you don't want me to talk because it's about you.
Wow.
You don't want to sit in your mess.
Okay.
But I'm comfortable with it. And I'm not ashamed or judged by it. It happened. So now I'm helping someone else that's walking through it.
Okay. Right. Yes. All right. I'm glad you had the strength to even stand up, because sometimes you talk about stuff that other people did to you. They don't want you to say it. They don't want you to talk about it. And I'm glad you didn't pull back, even after they responded and were saying, you're changing. Why are you sharing this? Hopefully they'll get their healing, whoever they are.
But I'm healing one soul at a time. So I did what I needed to do.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's so true. Oh man, this is so great. I'm really enjoying you ladies and your responses and your journeys, your books, your projects. And you are very inspirational to many who are watching and will watch. So let me ask you this as we're wrapping up. A couple things I want to ask. What difference do you endeavor to make, whether it's with these books that have been nominated or with anything else that you've worked on, your projects? What do you endeavor to do? What do you want to see come out of it? Dr. Sheena.
Well, I've already kind of, you can say, as 6 years in, I've seen a lot that's came out of it. From my kids telling me I'm their hero to getting emails of people that call me their angel for just speaking my story. The divine of being able to walk in this purpose and, someone that's going through what I've been through or maybe dealing with the disease that I may be dealing with and they need some expertise of how to be an advocate at the doctors, because a lot of times, especially of people of color, they like to think you're trying to get meds or you're trying to be delusional about what's going on for you. So being able to be the strong mind and strong body for someone else to help them be able to speak life into what they're doing is all I want to do, is to give people power in their mouth, power in their voice, and power in themselves.
Love it. That's why she's Dr. Sheena. All right. What difference do you endeavor to make, Fire Marshal?
The difference that I endeavor to make is to encourage people to use their gifts for others, to inspire others, and to know that you do have a gift. You need to be heard. There are so many writers who are sitting on their pens, from babies to the most elderly adults that we could think of. And they have stories that we all could benefit from, that we need to hear. Some of them are words of empowerment. Some are to encourage us. Some are just inspirational. And then some of them are just downright funny. You know, people have gifts that they could reach children, teenagers, and so forth. I write all types of genres, self-help, inspirational journals, poetry. And as I continue to write, I want to inspire people to jump in the writing pool. There's enough room for all of us.
Yes.
Whatever it is that I'm not writing, I'm sure that you could be writing that story.
Yeah.
Be vulnerable. I want people to learn how to be vulnerable, because it's in your vulnerability that people are going to get help.
Yeah.
They're not going to get help by us sitting back acting like we're all that, and we have never been through anything, and we are perfect people. That is just not the case. I'm sorry. I've been through all types of things. I am still growing to this day, still learning to this day. And I hope that something I share will inspire others. I want people to enjoy their lives. And I think that they can do that when they read my books.
All right now. I love it. All right. Fire. Y'all got a fire marshal is here. All right. Shantae, you want to wrap us up?
Yes.
If you tell us what difference you endeavor to make.
I want to make a difference in people's life by teaching people how to live in their truth. Just living your truth, whatever your truth is, whatever your life looks like, just live in that, because living in your truth is freedom.
Yeah.
Bondages and chains is broken when you live in your truth, when you accept your background of where you may have came from. Yes, you may have came from that background, but that doesn't define who you are. And once we learn to live in our truths and learn that those things are not who we are, the freedom that comes with it. Yes, I encourage people to write. Even if you don't want to publish a book, just write, just journal, let it out and let it go. Because once you let it out and let it go, you find who you truly are. Because a lot of times we find out who we are, who we think we are, because of what somebody told us we are, but that's not who we are. So I just want to teach people to just be free, just be free. It is, it's just rewarding when you live free and you really find out who you are and you are able to walk in your purpose.
I love it. I love it. All right. I'm going to read this last comment on here. Buddy Gill. Congratulations to each of you ladies on your published books and journeys. Continued success to each of you. God's grace and blessings.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. He really is. And I want to say congratulations to each of you on your nomination and what you have accomplished thus far. And we're just praying that God will just continue to bless each of you. And I want to encourage you guys. I'm going to put in the comments section the information for the Distinguished Authors Guild award ceremony. It will be held now if you guys in the Midwest, okay, you can come to this award ceremony, or many of the authors are going to be flying in, so get your ticket. Come on, you can come on in. November 7th, 2025 at Theater 47 in Park Forest, Illinois. The link for the Eventbrite, where you can get your tickets, is underneath. So make sure you guys get your tickets today if you haven't gotten them yet. I mean, there's entertainment at these award shows, in addition to recognizing the authors and the nominees. And then, of course, the winners will be announced. But Gina Gatson and her crew, I believe Dr. Stevens is working with her, and she has others that are in the background, Greg Gray, that are helping her with this particular and I see you guys over here on Instagram that are helping with this particular event. They pour everything into it, and it's so nice. It's beautiful how she, they lay it out rather. So make sure you get your tickets. These beautiful women. I don't know if all three of you today will be there. Will you be there this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. And of course, if they win, they just have to ship the award to whoever is not in attendance. But it's a beautiful, beautiful event, and I want to encourage you guys to make sure that you participate in it. Some have come out as guests, and then the following year they return as authors or nominees. But it's just a wonderful thing, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the proceeds from the tickets will go towards scholarships. I believe they're still doing that, and that's just wonderful to me. We need to support our those who are in school, our young people. Sometimes the older people are in school too, but we just thank God for for those who will benefit from this. So, Fire Marshal, Dr.
Yes.
Sheena, Shantae, I thank you all so much for taking time out with me on today, coming in here and talking about your books, your projects, your lives, and being inspirational to each and every one of us. So I appreciate you again for coming in. And I thank each of you on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to recognize your names over here, but I thank you all so much for coming in and sharing with us. And again, you can still tag individuals into this particular segment so that they will go back and watch it in its entirety. But please, I encourage you all to join me again this evening. This evening, I will round out this Distinguished Author Guild interviews with, I have Shana Jenkins, Farron McLemore, Natalie Murphy, the romance woman herself, Dr. Carolyn Stevens, and Patricia Wallace. They will round us out on this evening with the final interviews, and you don't want to miss it. So 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on this evening. And until then, thanks, Farron. She says she hopes to see everybody November 7th. So you all come out. Come on out. And I pray that all goes well. So thank you again. I will see you guys later on this evening. And until then,
get caught in a net with